All right, testing, testing, testing. Let's see if we are live and all the infrastructure is working. Testing. This is the 144K global mass intervention of the new moon and Chinese New Year, the real New Year combo of the 29th of January 2025. And just hold on, everybody. Get yourselves comfortable, strap yourselves in, so to speak. Make sure you have your water and favorite beverage ready to go while I get, or I suppose wait for, the thumbs up for all the different platforms that we're on. So stand by. I'll be muting for another couple of minutes or so. Alrighty, finally live again. Again, I have to turn on and off several buttons to go live and unlive, so just bear with that. Again, we will be consolidating everything, hopefully down to only one mute button very soon. So this is the Unknown Light Warrior welcoming you and preparing you to fulfill your soul mission, ensuring the bliss, the mass upliftment that comes with that, albeit not necessarily at the physical 3D surface level, but that's going to be the main focus this time. Well, it has been for a few months, but only for the past few months. There's just been so much, arguably, an unprecedented amount of obstacles and layers unique to this planet in relation or compared to pretty much any other planet throughout this universe and all other universes, seemingly and quite likely all other multiverses. If you're new, welcome. You're going to discover the true meaning of the word thinking big and way outside the spiritual matrix of this surface. Never mind the 3D matrix of this surface, as consciousness is the only limiting factor. But let me pull our consciousness back down to Earth for now. And make yourself comfortable. Allow yourself to get into that meditative state in your own way. And let's see if I can be heard when I'm facing the other direction and getting myself ready and comfortable. And this time I got pretty good information, I guess, on where we need to start once we go up there, so we can really get rocking and rolling straight away. And after that particular start, that will be disclosed once we're in the far greater safety of our non-physical brethren, mostly. We're going to, there'll be another revelation after that start as a result of that particular start or process that you've got to look forward to. And hats off to anyone that's on the west coast of the US and mountain time for that matter. As you uphold your sacred oath and duty that you took, for most of us, It's millions of years ago. To join whatever off-world outfit that we all joined at some point, and our long journey and the center of all the action started to gravitate more and more towards this number one jewel of this universe, of planet Earth and this solar system. Some say where it'll end where it all began from originally, right here. And if you're new, you will definitely want to open up in a big way your existing spiritual paradigm and level of consciousness that will allow for more, including your own upgrade, for lack of a better term. You'll know what I mean. As you continue those slow and deep in-breath and out-breath, that'll help harmonize and unite our energies. And if you've had trouble sleeping, or basically couldn't sleep, and you are of an Arcturian or warrior bent, I'm going to set things up for you for revenge. With a capital R. And yeah, we'll be taking that up with the teams as well, if you couldn't sleep. So see yourself in a gigantic crystal ball. Visualize to actualize everything you quote unquote imagine is real. Thanks to our ultimate purpose of being seemingly stuck here, apparently stuck here on the physical third density surface of this planet, for the sacred duty of projecting your consciousness from the physical to the non-physical, to activate God powers, literally. It's all a competition of consciousness itself, ours versus theirs. And have faith in your abilities. Remove all doubt, because you've been at this for literally millions of years. we'll be harnessing the power of Pluto, Uranus, and Jupiter. Trining with Jupiter. Very big deal. Jupiter, as you know, is just massively, in a very positive way, massively amplifies and expands. It's the great amplifier and expander. Uranus embodies the old founding father saying, give me liberty or give me death. There's no in between. And Pluto, don't be fooled by its size at all. It is an extreme masculine ass kicking kind of phenomena. So to say that's an auspicious trifecta is quite an understatement. And now, the wild card, the unknown quantity, the 144K, steps in. That all opposing forces just don't know what to expect, what to prepare for, how to handle it. As you look all around and simply engage, a complete opposite and unlimited form of consciousness or thinking by moving into the right hemisphere of your brain. Just make that decision. As you instantaneously, without an ounce of trying, look all around the dark silver translucent walls of the crystal ball. You see the astral or golden light bodies of all fellow 144K. Brothers and sisters in arms. Let's call in Gaia, authentic Gaia. Connect with us now. And you'll want to do the same. And there's a really cool start to what we're going to do. Once we're up there, and you can look forward to that big time. See Gaia in the middle of the crystal ball, in the middle of our circle. As always, our circle is just on the inside of the equator of this giant silver crystal ball. See the beautiful, sacred
white polar ice caps of Gaia. The blue oceans, the clouds over the blue oceans, and your choice of continent. Or continents, I should say, before you. And we start to move up through the layers of this universe. Make sure you catch that image before it even starts to run away. It's all about honoring the true I within you, utilizing it. As we race up towards the boundary of this universe, to go beyond the multiverse, to work with managers of multiverses, to multiply the power, effect, impact, results of our intervention by 100. Arguably much more than that. As you look all around, you see that faint soft flashing of light through the translucent walls of the crystal ball and Gaia in the middle. As that soft flickering of light on the walls through the walls of the crystal light calms you, centers you, more and more as we come close to breaking through that outer boundary of this universe. But feel your resolve within your heart strengthen, be more galvanized. Take that last look. To the 144K members standing in solidarity, over to your left and over to your right. Gaia in the middle. As we break through we reach and move through that last thick outer boundary of this universe. Everything goes bright white. You can barely see Gaia in the middle. And the brightness disappears. And you see a big ball of light that is the universe that we just left beneath us, rapidly descending into a small ball of light, and we rise above a whole ocean of small balls of light that are all the other universes in this little portion of this multiverse. And we rise above that. The multiverse turns into a slightly hazier ball of light. And we rise above a whole ocean of multiverses. And it all just disappears beneath us. Now you can still call in your guides if you haven't already. It's nice to be multidimensional and actually using it, especially in this way. As we continue to rise to levels of light no opposing force can compete with. That's why we do what we do the way that we do it. As I run through the standard protocols, just maintain visual. On Gaia, the golden dotted ring of the 144K and the translucent silver balls of the crystal ball as we continue to rise. Authentic card, we call upon the one true authentic card. Please make sure we go to you and no one else, true heart. Take that glance at your guides if you consciously work with any. Then at Gaia, then up above through the roof of the crystal ball. And you see a single little point of white light way off in the distance. And it gets bigger and bigger. Still approaching it. This is far above all that is. It's big business. The whole roof of the crystal ball is lit up bright. And we finally reach it. We come to a sudden, yet somehow gentle stop, and we slowly and lovingly move through. This platform of light as it lovingly envelops the crystal ball, Gaia in the middle. As it closes at the bottom, opens up at the top. And there we are, nestled on top of a sacred platform, a very special realm of light. We now form a straight line behind and a little above Gaia. Keep in mind, folks, consciousness is king here, especially when done a certain or applied in certain ways. The crystal ball peels evenly from the top center, nice and slowly, all the way down. And if you're new, this is a very different, let's just say, whole other level of light. Managers of multiverses. Playing their role, but they do need a physical anchor. And always keep in mind any unresolved internal stuff or limiting beliefs. They can get ruffled. From such extreme high levels of light that you're already getting pumped full of. So take another sip of your coffee. If you're already yawning away or going ADD, that's just internal or auric stuff. Hang in there. You're doing fine. Stand your ground. Believe me, it's worth it. Now look up and see these very translucent beings of light. They're about 2,000, the width of 2,000 universes away, although they appear pretty damn close and up front. And look at them. Connect with them to establish your own connection with them. As just being up here, has quite the cleansing effect on your auric field. Another side benefit of serving selflessly. The light. I'll be quiet for a moment while you feel their unique energy signature to establish your own connection. Very important. Feel their unique energy for a minute or two. Let go and really free your mind, really emancipate more of your consciousness. Because the right image for you is already there. And pay a little bit of background attention, have a little bit of background consciousness on your higher senses in the center of your head initially. Authentic Hod, can you please send us a massive wave of your energy so we can truly feel you to an undeniable, unmistakable physical level? Be in ease and grace. Use this opportunity to go to an even deeper level of the now. There's many levels to that. The deeper you go into the now and more still and centered, the more power. That's just the way it works. Let go of the rational mind. Go beyond it. This is what we're here for. This is deep, a deep state. Authentic God, please let us feel you in our hearts. Send us a massive wave of your energy into our hearts. Engage. Heart level. And now have a little bit of background. Some of your consciousness on your chest. Keeping an eye out for their unique energy signature. Any yawns or burps? It's a good sign of some cleansing. Nice. Okay. Return a bit of consciousness, some of your consciousness, back to Gaia and your guides, if you have them. And let me quickly complete the highly protective and synergistic leveraged process and protocols. I call upon the infinite army of the authentic amalgam of the Oberon lineage. I call upon the elders of the amalgam and the team of beings that presents itself as one man that created this universe and the unique physicality as the last and ultimate strategy to corral the dark back to the light. See that particular being as presents itself as a man, as a golden being of light, and place him in your periphery or in your vision, field of vision, where it suits you. In this model, he goes by the name of Oberon. Now repeat after me. I call upon the entirety of my soul. See an extremely massive, vast field of love and light, and so much more, appearing as a small distant star just up above the hod. Repeat after me. I call upon my authentic oversoul. See that as a bigger ball of light in behind your soul, in a different color perhaps of your choice. Repeat after me. I call upon my authentic I am. And see really long, infinite rays of light coming from a slightly bigger ball of light behind your oversoul, back to white. Connect with it. Authentic Legion of Light, here we are. Providing that last and final critical link, which is conscious participation from this deepest end of all that is, from the physical third density surface, closing that elliptical loop to actualize transformation and freedom and final resolution to everything. Everything. There is Gaia. take us to the space and place of omnipresence. And you see a bright flash of light. It's very bright. You have to squint your eyes. Visualize to actualize. Move your consciousness. Your frame of reference. Your mental paradigm well into the right hemisphere of your brain. And the bright light disappears. Everything looks the same. We henceforth work from omnipresence. A very different realm, very different frequency. Okay, authentic legion of light. It is January the 29th, 2025, new moon and Chinese New Year. As far as the matrix linear chronological framework is concerned, but we're more concerned with harnessing and multiplying the power of the astrological alignments, primarily of which this new moon is in Aquarius, ruled by Uranus. Freedom, revolution, rebellion. But this time without any limitation at all, because it's time. We've only just entered the light age, the golden age, so it's time. Conjunct Pluto. Which means it's time to go all the way, as deep as we need to go to find the last remnants, preventing or blocking unconditional freedom, reunion with the galaxy, the cosmos, down to the physical surface, third density level. That's the key distinction that makes this moment so unique. Some would say even unprecedented. And with Jupiter trining, this amazing trine with Jupiter really does confirm that Source is now saying it is time. This unmistakable, clear astrology means that all that is, let alone the cosmos of this universe, is saying it's time to clear the last of it. That's our intent. That's our declaration. And beloved ones, we're going to clear in short order, to say the least, all, and I mean all, remaining blocks. Hidden mysteries, no matter how buried they are, the Pluto factor and the Jupiter factor means it's time. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting to the right time. Well, the right now moment is a better way to put it. The moment has arrived, pure and simple. Now, there are consciousness blocks. Consciousness is a thing in its own right, and there are consciousness blocks of the unconscious majority of the 3D surface. We're going to do a lot to clear that, thanks to the Pluto, Uranus, Jupiter factor. But because of our intervention and what we've invoked and summoned, it's going to be happening in one foul swoop, well within the next 30 minutes, not sometime later in 2025. We withdraw our consent and agreement to that for active starseeds, because we can only represent and speak for active starseeds. Authentic Legion of Light. Go as far down and far deep as we all need to go to clear the last of it, wherever it exists. Okay. Now, we're going to do I suppose, a barely 5-minute classic acting as if, visualizing, simulating in our minds what off-world and that's inclusive of inner Earth. You know, it's the same sort of energy, really. As there's such a ridiculous amount of huge bases of off-world organizations. And we're all going to go through our own what we think first contact is going to be like. It'll range from hearing an actual, and we're talking strictly physical level experience here, not some dream, so-called dream sleep state event, you know, or anything like that, even though that's perfectly real and not to be invalidated. I'm talking about conscious waking hour, physical level contact. The moment you've been waiting for. And I know for some of you, really getting into that can bring up some stuff. Namely centered around the heartache of separation, initial separation. Amnesia, memories being wiped, when we all got initially trapped in the reincarnation cycle, which was quite traumatic to the subconscious and our soul. All this partitioning crap started. But stand your ground. You've got plenty of time in the coming days and weeks to heal that. It typically through classic, simple half-hour soul fragment retrieval sessions, which certainly seems to be the most comprehensive and deepest proper healing of that. But anyway, I digress. Maintain vision of the teams, at least two of them. And Gaia in the foreground. Do truly get into it. Okay? The classic experiencing, visualization, using all your senses of hearing and seeing and imagining as if you have what you already want, all that basic metaphysical stuff, 101 stuff we've learned a very long time ago. You know, it's okay for the unconscious majority to take the time that they need to take, but we don't have to suffer for it. You know, the majority of us will still be needed here. Because to help the unconscious majority evolve and heal way quicker, because they are on Gaia's body. You know, we have our obligations to Gaia, the sacred one, the sacred goddess. But you and I will be in, well, the majority of us will be in completely different bodies, realigned to our true identities. Our families and friends and whatever sphere of influence won't even recognize us, because we've shed our skin, we've shed our shell, our cocoon. So, with at least some or two of the teams in the background, hold them in the background of your consciousness as you vividly experience contact. And be open-minded about it. It could simply be a physical voice that's right in the projected in the auditory cortex of your physical brain. Time to get physical. of a female or male voice, clearly of different voice frequencies of an off-world unfamiliar nature. Leave that. Whilst holding a little bit of background consciousness or vision on the teams. You're going to make sure it happens. To scan to see what obstacles there are. For the Starseed Collective, beginning with a 144K, not just yourself. That'll then open up the way for the unconscious majority collective of the surface. We're making that critical inroad. Or you may simply be one or two off-world personnel, most likely a Garthan or Aldebaronian or Pleiadian, most likely from an underground base of their own, whatever. Walking up to you at a restaurant. Or in front of your house. Because you have to invite them in. They're not necessarily going to just walk into your living room. Or for those of you that have a large property, it's a little rural. You see one or two of them. Or maybe even a craft. A disc, most likely. Up above with them standing on the ground, on the grass. Look up at your soul. Up above and ask, how's it going to happen? And just pick a scenario and really feel as if it's happening in the now so the teams can scan. Because that feeling of it actually happening is going to really ruffle up, to say the least, any hidden aspects of the matrix, so-called dead man switches that come alive all of a sudden and active instead of dormant, to try to prevent contact. And of course, most of us subscribers to Cobra, any reactions from the anomaly and so-called lurker consciousness jeopardizing our lives. And your higher self knowing that, and therefore hitting the brakes and not happening because it's too dangerous. Time to remove that danger. Because we withdraw our consent and agreement to any threats and danger to us, get in contact. Because getting contact, healing, in many cases, full reconstitution down to the physical level, in many cases, in whole other bodies, physical bodies, which is easily done. Returns us to a position of strength and loads of energy. A complete life change, complete life transformation. And it'll be as if you're returned back to day one of your initial awakening, where you're full of that, I guess, somewhat immature zest and enthusiasm for planetary liberation. Or multiply that by 100. Upon contact and the healing and reconstitution, both mind, body, and soul, that'll result in. Fully re-energized, where you can handle anything. Not, the complete opposite of this exhausted state and burnt out state. It begins with creating the energetic space. So I'm going to allow you to really get into it. Imagine as if, classic 101, visualization and feeling as if you're experiencing it now, lose yourself in that time space whilst holding the teams in the background of your consciousness so they can scan and see what comes up to clear the final obstacles for contact and reconstitution. The less you try, the easier it is. Have fun. What do you want? If you want Jesus Christ level healing abilities for your loved ones, well, here you go. And this, of course, doubles up beautifully with the intention setting and manifesting for and of the new moon. And because of the Jupiter and Pluto factor, it's a freaking powerful one this time. seize the opportunity. Ironically, through the least amount of trying. Really have fun with this, really get into it, whilst holding the vision or consciousness of at least two of the teams, your I am or soul, in the background. Okay. Now just say to the teams, scan the whole of this and clear the lot, whatever stands in the way of it happening. At the physical level, for life transformation. Just off the top of my head, there's loads of physical passageways in bathrooms of restaurants or whatever that lead underground. kind of everywhere. It's actually no big deal in one sense, in terms of physical logistics and making it happen, not an issue. It's the anomaly, the lurker, dead man switches of extremely old magic-like tech. That's it, nothing else. That's all that's in the way. And I'm saying this to the teams, clear the lot. Because we know the astrology is emphatically saying that in no uncertain terms. It's time. See Gaia, in the quarantine sphere, we're taking no prisoners as it relates to anything in the way. Threat to safety, life and limb for contact. Gaia is in the white quarantine sphere. We are surrounding her. We've got our new moon intention setting out of the way. Now let's clear the obstacles. Authentic Legion, omnipresence. I am presence, omnipresence. Now pick the color, a single monotone color, holographic of Gaia that to you represents omnipresence. And through intent, we're tuning in to any density or frequency, space in between, spaces, in between planes, in between densities, cyberspace, physical and non-physical, whatever density, 0 point, wherever, whatever. Hidden world, temporal bubbles, wherever, whatever. Nothing is hidden. Hold that intent of nothing is hidden. The algorithm is whatever is in the way of physical contact being taken up, physically being taken up or taken down in inner earth to whatever Sirian, Pleiadian, and Aldebaran, Procyon, Andromedan, we can go on. Base, moving you into another body if it's your soul's path and purpose and time for that. Either way, life transformation. To come up, to be the leader, the way shower, or the surface humanity that you're ready to be with this post-liberation phase. It is time to prepare for. Whatever is in the way of all of that. See your soul over soul, and I am way over on the other side, but visually just above quarantine Gaia. We are working from omnipresence. What's in the way? What's left? And you look down in the white quarantine sphere with that monotone holographic image of Gaia, representing not just omnipresent, but omnipresence that's set to that algorithm of whatever. is in the way. The teams continue to scan. Now, for some of you, stuff of a dark grey or black nature has already come up. Let's just quickly get through it for freedom. And we do have the green light, full authorization, just by virtue of the astrological alignment for no prisoners, completion, wholesale removal of anything that stands in the way. Your soul is directing you, in particular, receive. Turn white anything dark comes up. As always, if you're new, if something is the size of a quantum particle even, it'll show up as big, like whatever size you need, it needs to be seen as for you to see it at the conscious mind level, transmute it. Let's transmute. But be tuned in at the conscious level mind, preferably visual, to at least your I am. And I strongly recommend at least two of the heart on either side, opposite end, in the background. Be consistent. We're just going to do this for another 5 minutes. As always, change background colors of Gaia and the quarantine sphere to whatever you see fit. Fulfill the sacred oath, your soul purpose, because now you can. All right, Gaia reacted to that one. One thing after another. We're just going to do this for another 5 minutes. Like I said, transmute, transmute, transmute. Don't take no for an answer. Your soul, I am, the heart are showing you. You just have to stay in the right hemisphere of your brain. That's what it's there for. Learn to use it. Believe me, it's worth it. And if the whole quarantine sphere went pretty much black or dark gray, transmute it. Ask the heart in your I am, because they have the power and ability to do it way, way faster. Transmute it, clear it, don't put up with it. Oh yeah, and if you had trouble sleeping, now's the time to blow off some steam over that. Big time. Now expand your vision, which is not all of you, but the majority of you can do with that. Expand your vision to include at least two of the teams. So that Gaia in the quarantine sphere is just one fixture, if you will, in the foreground. This is your unique soul talents and purpose being fulfilled by holding your soul and I am in the background of your consciousness and or vision. Hold, being a deep meditative, non-trying state within the right hemisphere of your brain. Alrighty, I'm just going to be quiet for a couple of minutes to finish up this end, and we're going to finish up with one last process. Stick with it. Believe me, it's worth it. There's only one way out.
Okay. A weapon just got fired onto me, harming a particular part of my physical body. So I had to deal with that. Ironically, it's great because it means we're over the target. So let me see here. Now, there's always going to be some of us that, at least initially, have trouble getting into it, so to speak. And that's okay, and that's normal when you're on target or over the target. It's okay and normal because sometimes it does take a while to get into it, quote unquote. You do get there. Sometimes it's a matter of your particular pre-assigned soul task for this particular operation to for the right time for that to arrive. There's an element of that. So it's a case of stick with it. That's the nature of planetary liberation operations in terms of the real deal. The classified programs of DARPA, CIA, whatever, they don't fire physical weapons for no reason. So use the fact that the cosmos has given the green light from the proof of the Pluto, Uranus, and Jupiter trinity. All right, that particular astrology, namely those 3 planets, are telling us, okay, rip the cord on the rest of it, whatever's left, wholesale, and hold. Again, that means we have full green light, as green as it can get. And this has never happened before because it took a while to get this far, to get here. Understand that. Really get what that means. And employ, through a simple intention, to unleash the full purpose, pre-assigned task of your soul mission. Ironically, by letting go and holding that vision in that complete, instantaneous, non-trying, detached way of Gaia in the quarantine sphere. Transmuting, in other words, turning into white light, anything dark, and watching it disappear, leaving a pristine, whatever color of your choice of the background that you've chosen for Gaia and the quarantine sphere. Do stay outside the quarantine sphere for your own safety. Let's make it happen. We have, from seemingly all that is, let alone this cosmos, full green light. The astrology, like I mentioned, is emphatic. signal of that. Again, take that occasional glance, or preferably hold them in the one field of vision, at least two of the HUD and your I am in the background, minimum. Believe me, it helps. Your soul will work through your heart, through your consciousness to do the rest, because we're clear enough about the situation. We're clear enough about the protocol. And with a narrowed enough focus, but that's still inclusive of everything that needs to be inclusive, because partly because we're working from omnipresence. Detach, do not try. It just doesn't work that way. We're going to get a breakthrough. Just hold on. Maintain your field of detached, non-trying vision. Visualize to actualize. Mysteries do come up, especially when Pluto is going as far as it needs to go. There's also the HUD and your I am, they have the ability to scan throughout the last however many billions, with a B, of years, of whatever time-space events, in between spaces, in between planes, in between densities, wherever it occurred. Because of our participation here from the physical with a singular and proper algorithmic focus. That's narrowed enough. So we've narrowed things down to whatever's in the way for personal, private, physical contact. I'm not even interested in so-called sleep state events, contact that you can barely remember. Whatever. We're going for physical, full-blown physical contact. Show that to the teams. Because Pluto, Uranus, Jupiter combo is freaking saying so. Stiff shit. If darkness doesn't like that, go for broke, have at it. Turn it white. Whatever came up, turn it white. You take no prisoners, because Pluto, Jupiter, Uranus, never mind Gaia, is full out demanding that. Make it happen. Look up at your I am. And the HUD, tell it square in the eyes. From the power of your heart, say, I don't care anymore. You just make it happen with ease, grace, and flow. I don't care about anything anymore. You just make this happen. And don't worry, even abstract visualization seems to work just as well. Don't worry, you don't have to see it exactly as is, as it really is, or anything like that. transmute it white. Whatever comes up, don't try to analyze, don't try to judge. Turn that thing white, transmute it. That's what you're here for in your own particular way. Sometimes you just got to let out the emotions of what's really underneath your surface emotions. That's what the teams need to seize. Follow your unique soul purpose and pre-assigned task for this particular operation. Ironically, by letting go and seeing what comes up instantaneously. Go deep, go beyond your current reference points. Don't judge. Okay. Finish up. There is a roughly 10-minute process. Because of the quantum and subquantum anomaly, like there's still a fair bit of it within the atmosphere, especially around the surface. And I want some bulldozing clearing with our consciousness, a very focused consciousness, to be able to get that done, in a matter of minutes, in a matter of 10 minutes instead of 10 months. That's the difference that we provide, literally. There's a lot hidden, and as you can imagine, there's a lot dark ones can hide in the anomaly. Quantum anomaly, never mind subquantum anomaly. How many fish can you hide in an ocean? A lot. How many insects can you hide in a vast, endless jungle? A lot. So now that the astrology, the cosmos, in other words, source, is insisting on a zero tolerance policy, hey, who are we to argue? Look up at I am. Gaia in the foreground. Again, pick whatever background colors works for you that represents that single out algorithm of whatever's in the way of personal private contact and therefore life transformation down to the physical 3D level. Whatever's in the way of that for it to happen safely, because it's until it's safe, it just won't happen. Now, Pluto is insisting on this process and it's supporting us, especially Jupiter combo. Let's harness it. Look up here, I am. All right. Repeat after me as you're literally looking at your I am. Preferably the two of the hot on either side, like I said. The big guns. And repeat after me. And don't try to understand it, just run with the frequency of it. Ultimate cauldron. Remove all quantum and subquantum anomaly. Lurker consciousness. Lurker essence. Down to the physical 3D surface level. And all respective embeds within all technologies. Of all time and space. In between spaces and planes and densities. Since the inception of darkness and the game of contrast. Whatever's in the way. Of my private contact. At the physical surface level, during my conscious waking hours. So your I am divide into 6 balls of light. Repeat after me. We call upon the cosmic central sun races. We We call upon the Intergalactic Confederation, Ultimate Cauldron, bring the light down to the physical third density surface. With and through and because of our physical consciousness projection from the physical third density surface. Actualize. Now, at a minimum, again, it's each to their own in terms of their own personal soul talents based on your personal soul pre-assigned task and mission. But at a minimum, see balls of light of the almighty omnipresent I am, 6 of them at quite a distance from Gaia. Visualize Gaia in whatever way works for you within a quarantine sphere. Omnipresence. That algorithm has been set through that intention. So see 2 of your I am. Way above Gaia, above the North Pole. Way below Gaia, beneath the South Pole. North node and South node covered. C, your omnipresent I am concentrated in the form of 4 other infinite balls of light. Again, similar distance and quite a distance because their outer field is so insane. But out at the equatorial level, off to the sides, on all 4 sides. Cosmic version of the 4 directions. Yeah, like the perfect cross. Now, holographically within the quarantine sphere, and your I am balls of light are still way outside the quarantine sphere. Just sort of return to that original intent that we stated of anything and everything that's in the way of private physical contact. Because we have an obligation to increase our abilities for all future mass meditations, by the way. Among other critical goals per our soul mission and purpose that needs to be met, it's time. So although it'll primarily be quantum, subquantum anomaly, dark consciousness, lurker consciousness, dark plasmoid beings, as far as those 3 are concerned, we can just focus primarily on the 3rd density. But we're going to hold in the background of our consciousness still some remnants, significant remnants of magic-like dark technologies of whatever kind. in, as is often the case, temporal bubbles, which is kind of like their own mini universes, mini worlds that you just disappear into, and voila, you're in a whole other world in anywhere, whatever frequency within the third density, throughout Gaia and outer field, low Earth orbit, in between spaces in between those, the time-space continuum that are like just cubes, in between planes, in between densities, wherever, whatever. When you work from omnipresence and set the right intent, in other words, the right algorithm, now you're cooking. Now you're getting somewhere without it taking another 100 years. And believe me, that's what we were looking at. With your consciousness expanded to the level that it needs to be expanded, now you can see more. You can see it all. Channel the almighty soul, the soul and I am, through your heart, but through your consciousness. What comes up within the quarantine sphere, that's a fair way out beyond low Earth orbit. Most of you will see, just a dark grey haze towards the outer edges of the quarantine sphere, where it starts to go white, and then it gets blacker and blacker the more we go towards low Earth orbit, the stratosphere, then entering the atmosphere, then obviously the surface, that's where it's the blackest. Start to move. The ultimate cauldron of these 6 points of concentrated, focused, I am, omnipresent light, where the HOD, cosmic central sun race, into galactic confederation ships and magic light technologies are focusing through them as well, because they're acting as conduits for them as well, courtesy of you taking the time to project your consciousness here and now from the physical plane. That's what's required if you don't want things to take another 100 years. To us, even one more month is unacceptable. We have withdrawn our consent and agreement to that. Move the cauldron, 6-pointed cauldron, those 6 massive infinite balls of light, that seemingly all that is channeling through, because of your consciousness projection from the physical in the here and now, the physical surface 3D density of this planet. Make it happen. Again, change the background color of the quarantine sphere as you see fit, when and as you need to. Employ your unique soul talents. Move, gently move. The 6-pointed I am, well, all that is. Ultimate cauldron. We're going to get the surface, we're going to get the light down to the surface. Don't let any resistance whatsoever, whether it's internal or external, hold you back. Be brave. And the innocent life on the surface would be extremely grateful right now if you can hold a detached, omnipresent, non-trying nerve and visualize to actualize. Now, the balls of light, all 6 of them, they're never going to touch even low Earth orbit because they're just so insanely massive. The outer field is so beyond comprehension. Open up your consciousness big time. Now's your moment, the moment you've been waiting for. And now start to see within, just within, just beyond the outer shell of the quarantine sphere, that perturbation. You know how when water starts to boil, that ruffling and outer rippling waves of initial resistance and then breakdown and then transmutation. Again, the dropping of that pebble onto the still surface of a pond, and it ripples outward in those beautiful, perfect concentric circles. That's what you see throughout the 4 evenly spaced areas of the equator, but still way out in space because of how much crap is keeping us imprisoned. And of course, the North and South Pole, but same sort of altitudinal distance. So we are within lunar orbit, don't worry about that. And let's start to see a sudden appearance, I guess, of an immense, intense, albeit comparatively small, flashing of white transmutational light starting to appear in the middle of these outwardly expanding concentric circles of this perturbating energy from each of those 6 points of where the outer field of our Almighty, our ultimate identity, is starting to clear the garbage. Now, there's all sorts of garbage hidden within temporal bubbles, within spaces in between, within, in some cases, technologies, within, in some cases, the quantum and subquantum anomaly. Think big, because it's your consciousness, as much as and as high and expansive as you can get it to, that's going to set you free. I'm here only to show you the door. Throw caution to the wind. Don't care about anything except for the love in your heart, and you visualize to actualize and take no prisoners. The cosmos. Source, as evidenced and confirmed by the astrology, is demanding it, and I guess we're needed for it. Float around through your omnipresent consciousness. And see at any of those 6 points, don't have to see them all at once, float around, follow
the vision that your intent and algorithm has already set and therefore presenting to you. You're not alone. We're doing this together. And see, as you're floating about, because you are already everywhere, already, the light of all that is the cosmos, all your higher aspects, all the way up to source, clearing anything and everything that's in the way. Of your first contact. Let it rip. See the white transmutational light at whatever angle, with the balls of light of your I am and seemingly everything else working through them because of them, still at quite a distance, and see the intensity of that transmutational light going deeper, getting bigger and brighter, expanding outwards but inwards, coming close to low Earth orbit, clearing anything that's in the way. Of the light reaching the surface at the third density level. You hold for the love of God. Move in, expand, see the 6 points of expanding, I guess circular, transmutational light. Expanding, penetrating through the very dark grey, the blackness, representing anything and everything. Seeing it all at once from omnipresence that stands in the way of the light reaching the physical third density surface. Clearing all technologies, not just the quantum and subquantum anomaly and Lurker consciousness, but technologies. No matter how deeply hidden they are, we've got Pluto ensuring that. And just see those, you can see 2 or 3 at a time, depending on where your omnipresent natured limitless consciousness is floating about without an ounce of trying. Be the witness. Just this rapid mass flashing of light throughout those 6 points in amongst the dark grey background. I prefer to have the quarantine sphere as a dark, sort of a dark tone violet, to be able to see both the white transmutational light and the dark grey technologies, force fields, temporal bubbles, hidden little bubbles of whatever, cube spheres, quantum subquantum anomaly, and Lurker dark consciousness especially. You take no prisoners, because Uranus Pluto is absolutely full-blown, flat out demanding it.
In other words, Source is demanding it. Goddess is demanding it. And trust me, you don't want to argue with Goddess, believe me. So you've heard of those, Tibetan yogis or whatever. They sit cross-legged and meditate in vast stillness for like hours. Well, do that. Vision style on what we're visualizing to actualize. Forget about time. And believe me, this is where you really want to forget about linear time. All technologies, no matter how, dead man switches is a popular one. They become active whenever the certain preset frequency thresholds of gaze ascension is reached, and then these things get activated. Yeah, keep that in mind too. Imagine them, usually in the form of cubes or spheres, suddenly appearing because there's this mass increase in frequency, courtesy of what you and I are doing. They may appear out of nowhere, see them, and see them disappear. As we're approaching the stratosphere, I'm just going to be quiet for a minute. Hold the vision. Okay. Now, there's going to be some of you that are, again, per your soul talents, unique soul talents, strengths, attributes, purpose, etc. You're just into technology. Whether you're engineering, whether you're computer science, you're just into gadgets, technologies. There's going to be at least a handful of you that are in that category per your soul purpose and talents. I want you to hold primary focus or consciousness on clearing technologies, mostly in the form of dead man switches, where they're completely hidden. And this is Pluto demanding this, by the way, not just Uranus. They're completely hidden, even from source, until they become active. So ask your soul and I am to activate them. Send kind of like a sonar wave kind of thing, omnipresent version, to activate them all. And don't worry, yeah, it's going to be hairy for the planet for a little bit, to say the least, but we're here to clear it. And all that is working through our consciousness and because of our consciousness projected from the physical surface, 3D. Just throw caution to the wind and trust in this little utilized natural long dormant ability from deep within you to do that. It's easier than you think. Just allow your linear conscious mind to step aside and move into your right hemisphere brain and don't think. You're being supported, to say the least. Go for it. I'm going to be quiet for another minute or two as we're reaching and begin to move through the stratosphere. Stick with it because, boy, this is worth it. Imagine the light reaching the surface. You want to know about life transformation? Well, here you are. But I can only show you the door. You have to walk through it. Okay, so I've just received an important message, I guess. I've just received an important message to you, all important technocrats. I'm going to call you technocrats. And believe me, you were masters of magic-like technologies way back, long before you came here and got trapped in the reincarnation cycle. As we move the light of our combined ultimate cauldron I am and everything that's moving with us and through us because of that, you may find that, okay, so imagine the walls of light moving inward, starting to enter the upper atmosphere. Okay. The clearing of the quantum and subquantum anomaly, lurker consciousness, and some various whatever technologies, force fields, veil, membranes, yada yada. Just behind that inward moving force field or outer force field or wall of light, sort of hold your consciousness just behind that. Of a completely cleared fabric of reality, quantum and subquantum field completely cleared. All right. Sort of stand behind that, so it'll be mostly a white background, in other words. And in its wake, you will find the dormant and now activated technologies, the dead man switches, that just couldn't be seen before because we're moving the light in. All right, that become activated or exposed because up goes the frequency, right? The frequency threshold of, well, in this case, Gaia's outer field. And so they become active. These dead man switch technologies become active to bring us back down and prevent freedom, in other words. See them just behind, in the wake of this forward moving mass of light. See these technologies becoming active or simply appearing. Transmute them. That's it. This is a big deal. This is what's making the difference here. Big time. And it'll save us from having to do it later. Turn them white, again, I don't want to limit your consciousness here or color your filters, but they're often in the form of cubes or spheres. Turn them white, disappear them. Critical role you're playing. The rest of you, clear the quantum and subquantum anomaly and lurker consciousness. As we now start to move through the stratosphere, and you can do kind of like a refresh if you need to, where you're now seeing just the dark grayness or blackness of Gaia herself, Gaia proper. So atmosphere and down to the surface. Again, omnipresence. So we're talking not just regular time-space of the third density, quantum subquantum anomaly. We're talking in-between spaces of the time-space continuum. We're talking 0 point, hidden frequencies, and in between the planes, Not so much densities at this point necessarily, because it's mostly on the third density, but in between the planes. Lots of in-betweenness is the best way I can explain it. How hold that relaxed consciousness in somewhere in the background of your consciousness as you move. That ultimate I am cauldron through the upper atmosphere. Make sure nothing is left behind. Quantum, subquantum anomaly, lurker consciousness, any form of dark consciousness, and in between the planes, and in between regular time space. Nonetheless, the primary focus is on physical plane, in between spaces, and within regular time spaces. Physical plane, third density, that's still the primary focus, because I guess that's where 99% of the garbage is left at. Fourth density looks pretty good. Looks fine. Let's just focus on the third density, physical plane. Gently, zoom in, zoom out. See those. Now that you've done a kind of refresh of the vision, see Gaia, the upper atmosphere, the blackness of the quantum, subquantum anomaly and dark consciousness just begin to perturbate in those outer wave emanating kind of way. Flashing of mass, unprecedented light. This is extreme, beyond comprehension. Start to really penetrate. Because this is, we're entering the deepest, darkest, blackest inner part of the garbage. Quantum, subquantum anomaly, and all the insects, technologies, critters within it, but they're less of a problem really. It's the quantum and subquantum anomaly. Even the lurker or dark consciousness is heavily dependent on the quantum and subquantum anomaly. As those ever-expanding 6 points of mass transportational light start to expand. Of this refreshed vision of Gaia proper. 6 points. 6 points of penetrating white light. Move it gently inwards, taking no prisoners, leaving no stone, nothing behind. Technocrats, any cubes, spheres, dead man switches that come alive because of this mass frequency jump. You turn them white, disappear and dissolve them, transmute them. And be quiet for another minute. We all have our marching orders. Fulfill your mission. The tortoise always wins the race. As you hold the vision, completely clearing down to the quantum, subquantum level, which is basically like a black ocean. Some of you may need to or can get up, walk around to another part of the house even, but hold focus, hold vision, perhaps with your eyes partly closed. Because it kind of helps detachment. Just don't bump into any walls. And you hold that vision. Because so many lives are depending on this. The drastic reduction in suffering depends on this. The drastic reduction of the duration of any further suffering depends on this. Visualize to actualize in a completely detached, non-trying way. Throw caution to the wind. Let go. Do. Don't think. The right consciousness algorithm and intent has been set. Do. Don't think. By being the silent witness. As we're moving through, halfway through the atmosphere, and boy, things are really shaking up big time already here on the surface. Visualize to actualize. Technocrats, you do your thing. The tortoise always wins the race. Okay, I should be live again. All right. I'm certainly not the best multitasker in the world, that's for sure. Now, as you float around, completely altering all levels of the physical third density of the fabric of reality down to the subquantum level, the level of consciousness, and while within Planck length, Bill, you know what I mean, within the deep center of each of those ever expanding 6 points of mass transmutational love and light of your consciousness and your heart, and I am, begin to see that almost it makes you want to celebrate, a sense of celebratory blue goddess, baby blue light of the surface, physical third density surface, quantum and subquantum level, little within the heart of these little blue points starting to appear within the heart of these 6 different mass transmutational areas throughout the North Pole, South Pole, and the 4 points, evenly spaced points of the equator. We've reached the surface. Congratulations, 144K. Technocrats, you were just behind the main advance, so to speak, easily seeing whatever form it's represented to you as, technological, magic-like, AI in some cases, dead man switches essentially that spring to life because of this massive upsurge in ascension. In other words, frequency. Turner White disappearing ruthlessly. The rest of you, gently, because we don't want to leave not a single little insect behind within the vast jungle or ocean. You know, we're clearing the equivalent of a tiny little microbe within the vast Pacific Ocean and some. So you leave no stone unturned. Fully, wholly, including spaces in between, regular time-space continuum, any temporal bubbles, quantum, subquantum anomaly, and dark consciousness, make it happen as you gently move that outer edge of that expanding white transmutational light, clearing the garbage as the blackness or dark grayness, representing anything and everything, preventing light fully reaching the physical third density surface of this planet to remove any and all obstacles to us getting physical first contact Let me see. Let's see what that says. See if we're still live. I couldn't make that out because I didn't have my glasses on.
Well, it popped away, so I can't see now.
We may be live.
Let me check this. Talk.
Okay, hopefully I can be heard again.
I'll have to see. Go ahead. Talk.
Okay, testing.
Oh, wait, I'm not listening. Free conference. Get your free conference. Okay, go ahead, talk.
Testing, and testing.
It's going to take me a minute.
Hold the light. If you can hear me, hold the light.
Yes, you're good.
Okay. Yep, I'm still live. And we're expanding. We're moving into the surface in those 6 little points within the heart of those ever-expanding, outwardly expanding, and inwardly expanding mass transmutational light. The baby blue being the surface of the physical, 3rd density level. We're making it happen. We're taking matters into our own hands. Because we've withdrawn our consent and agreement and any vows, curses, covenants, and any such related things, codes and programs, matrix codes and programs, DNA codes and programs, consciousness codes and programs, the whole shebang, to any further delay to full physical surface level planetary liberation, beginning with active starseeds, to any further suffering of any shape, form, or kind, so that internal healing can truly begin for the unconscious majority. It all ends here. Expand the light. See those 6 points around the planet of the physical 3D surface both at the quantum and subquantum level, like little circles expanding. More and more, hold focus. Zoom in, zoom out. See the grand, stupendous panoramic vision of seemingly all that is, not just your ultimate I am cauldron. And believe me, a lot of the ruthlessness is coming via Pluto, and Jupiter is multiplying it by like 1,000, because that's what Jupiter does. Then you've got our collective I am multiplying it by 100,000. Then you've got the HOD multiplying it by 100,000. Then you've got the cosmic central sun race, galactic central sun race, intergalactic confederation, and God knows what else, multiplying it by another 100,000, and you get my drift. Take no prisoners. It's now all the way to the finish line. See a complete, pristine, back to the divine matrix and fabric of quantum and subquantum reality and its respective codes that tells it to form a certain form, represented by the baby blue of the surface,
expanding more and more. Anything that pops up, especially you technocrats, anything that pops up and expands out blackness to return everything back, turn it white. Come from the heart. And a fully self-realized consciousness. Watch out for any dead man switches, typically technological dead man switches. In those original points of the surface, the baby blue color surface appearing, that's now going into and reaching through the crust, clearing all the garbage, clearing all quantum, subquantum anomaly, and dark consciousness of any kind, and God knows what hidden grids are in there. Take no prisoners. That's where within those baby blue physical surface areas, that's where you'll find a bit more technologies that are within the crust at God knows whatever frequency, and in between time-space continuum, you get those. Again, they're typically, but not always, spherical or cubes starting to get activated because that's what they're designed to do. Dead man switches, that's basically their nature. Take no prisoners. Call for assistance from the HOD, the soul, your guides. Make it happen. Don't think. You're just going to have to trust me on that one. Abstract visualization will do. You don't have to be at all some super psychic. As long as you channel your soul and I am and don't think. There's no real secret to it. Quantum, subquantum anomaly. In and out of regular time-space continuum. Hold that vision. Intensify. And this allows the Galactic Confederation to really go full blast with their technologies, courtesy of us, but without humanity, Gaia, let alone us, getting shellacked. That's why they've never been able to go that fast. Until we step in. once every 2 weeks. On the odd occasion, you may find some dark crystals that hold some nasty stuff inside. That are either dark beings, the essence of dark beings, or coated with god-awful programs or curses. Be open to anything in that regard so you can see it and transmute it. Float around the equators, North Pole, South Pole. This really is the equivalent of completely draining 10 times the size of the Pacific Ocean so that we can see everything. Especially dead man switches technologies. This is why we're not free yet. This is it. Enough's enough. All right, those ever expanding, cleared blue physical surface, or should I say the ever expanding transmutational white light outer edge around those cleared blue, baby blue surface of the physical 3D surface, they start to meet now. They start to join. And as we finish up with this draining the vastness of all the oceans equivalent, we're going to just give a once over or a going over quickly for any proverbial dead man switches. No matter how deeply hidden they are, courtesy of Pluto-Jupiter conjunction with the Uranus new moon. You know, you have to use the astrology for its source's way of saying, okay, now it's time for that. Now it's time for this. It's all sequenced. Veteran grid workers will know what I mean. Now, to all you goddesses that are having trouble staying awake, light up the grids with goddessy, full-blown, stereotypical, rainbow-coloured, feminine colours of all these crisscrossing lines. Turn it into a 5-year-old girl's Shangri-La. and I'm being serious in one regard. Everyone else, you consolidate, follow through. Pardon me. Couple of cubes. Again, typically faint images are normally the most accurate. Make the most of it because we haven't got long to go now at all. As always, by being the vanguard, but holding and participating at the conscious level for this long as the vanguard, it allows off-worlders to just go nuts in all the most wonderful ways. Inwards, surface, the light reaching the surface, moving through the crust, lots of garbage in the crust. Now, it's many miles deep. But it's moving faster now because we're now in Earth. There's a lot less there in terms of quantum, subquantum anomaly. And just see within the blue or through the blue surface, see just those, thin white outer membranes of the outer field of your almighty I am from those 6 different directions. Just move into the core, touching, healing the heart of Gaia. Okay, let's do a quick scan of technological dead man switches. A lot of it have been there literally for many billions of years at the quantum, subquantum, in between time-space continuum, cloaked, level, activated now because we brought the light right through. Just give it a going over. Anything dark. And it may not necessarily look technological. You transmute it, get us free. Hold. Again, you can change background colors now. all that is, not just the physical cosmos working with us. Channel. Go deep. Into that detached, non-trying, meditative state. Pay attention, faint images will do. And I hope I'm not limiting myself, but there seems to be 2 or 3 layers of cubes within the crust or surface area of Gaia. And, just clearing this technological dead man switch, dormant, but now active garbage is the last of it. That's the last step. Otherwise, they pull us right back in. Any layers of technologies, any little cube spheres. Sometimes they're tablet type things. As we finish up, this is your last chance, your last go. If you're not seeing anything, just look at your I am, or one of them, the HOD, and just command omnipresence. Is there anything else? Left. That may or may not be dormant or active. Find it, clear it. Let's get that first physical contact happening for you. Turn it white, whatever you see, leaving a beautiful blue background or maybe indigo background. The wind's picking up here. I don't think it was this strong. watch anything you're transmuting disappear. Now, let's all just, I don't know, for barely a minute, zoom out, see, well, you can choose your colors, but I'm sticking to a baby blue color of Gaia within a white quarantine sphere. Everything cleared. And look up at your I am, the HOD, and maybe a ship or two of the Intergalactic Confederation and Cosmic Central Sun. And repeat after me as you're looking at them. Change the matrix code back to the divine code. Now there's a little bit of resistance, a dead man switch kind of thing that popped up. It'll appear as whatever form it appears at. Turn it white. Hold. Change background color if you need to be able to contrast the white. And transmute it. Well done, everybody. We're done.
Personal visualizations. Stop. Personal manifestations is illegal.
Now, personal manifestations.
Visualization.
Visualize.
You gotta spend at least 5-10 minutes.
Let's visualize what we want. Being the real new year.
How do we walk through?
And as part of the energy and purpose of the new moon.
This one is the biggest of the year.
But when it comes to new moon intention setting, this is the biggest one of the whole year. If you want to set and manifest per the new moon purpose of every new moon, this is the one where you definitely want to do that. So, and it can be first contact again, but it could be anything. Anything you want. Let's set that out. Because with the power of present company, that's amplified and the pathway cleared for that. Let's just do that now as a way of celebrating, in a sense, of this massive achievement. Feel as if it's happening in the now. Most of you know this exercise. The astrology supports manifestation as well, not just getting down to the deepest, darkest. What is it that you really want? Because it's now so much safer to request, manifest, feel as if it's in the now. Really take advantage of that, because now you can maybe you just want amazing healing powers, restored abilities. Truly live and move into that time space, to gravitate towards it. Find a particular moment in this clear quantum field of possibilities. Choose what you want by living it as if you have it already. Really breathe it in. Well done, everybody. All that is can never express well enough the amount of gratitude, appreciation, love for your gallantry, let alone dedication and love. That you're proving and showing through your actions of these 144K participations. It is so beyond appreciated. Again, you know, certain things just can't be put into words. Do share your feedback. Anything worthy in sharing. In the Telegram chat. And feel the hugs. Immense, overwhelming gratitude and appreciation from all our inner earth and off-world, galactic and intergalactic, in some cases multiversal, comrades, brethren. Not just family. You have a beautiful night or rest of your day. Watch your inbox and let's get the conversation happening on Telegram, because this was such a big deal. And it's going to be interesting bit of intel in the coming week or two, because the degree that we've accelerated things is arguably off the charts, saving a lot of grief, saving a lot of suffering, not just getting us to first contact as early as tomorrow. Thank you for your heroism. Thank you for being a hero. This is your loving servant, the unknown light warrior, helping you, making it happen. Till next time.